Thanks everyone who's made it out. I'm sure some of you have already seen plenty of the Starscream already, so thanks for taking some time to watch my take on it. So we're going to try to get this done in an hour since Figure Action Podcast starts at 9. So let's go ahead and get started. Here we are with Masterpiece MP-52 Destron Air Commander Starscream version 2.0. I know people are going to be like, is it kind of version 3.0? We can debate all we want. Box says 2.0. We're going to go with that. Looks very, very nice. These product images. It's actually quite a large box, even though the figure itself isn't too huge. Comes with a decent amount of accessories. You get to see the rear of that. And one of the things you'll notice is that they have all these pink effects. We actually don't get pink effects. We get some purple ones. Here he is with a little O face and his Megatron gun saying, "Woo, I got a gun." And then on the back here, hey, Mike Rogers, always here to annoy. On the back here, we get the standard box. We get the kind of real life size of the figure on this side, and a lot of product images with all the accessories and so forth. He does come with quite a bit. You can see how much of the box gets taken up just by the accessories. So let's get this out of the way and get going. Out of the packaging, you do get a few things. First, we'll bring in the clamshell. Underneath it is kind of tied up this, or taped up his flight stand. And then he also comes with his little instruction packet kind of thing. The instructions are quite good. They're pretty standard. I wish they would move away from this one giant sheet. You're going on a old school road trip and you need like a map. Folding this thing up is so annoying, but it's pretty good. It does show you a lot of the functionality with the different accessories. Some are more obvious than others. So we'll put that away. He does have a little, hey, Evil Ash, how's it going? Here is his bio card. Nice cardboard, glossy. You get his stats. Stats are pretty high. Pretty surprised. I mean, he is a seeker, so let's see here. He also has this flight stand, so let's take this out first. It is kind of the standard base that we've gotten, and basically the same stand that we've gotten with a couple of figures. I think some of the Masterpiece Beast Wars figures got them, but this one's purple. I forget how this always connects. I always have to look at the pipes and say, oh, okay, I think it's this way, because the pipes. That's a secret. You get the pipes, but you can put it together any two which ways you want. Then this one can tab in here, and then you got this base, and you just stick this in any number of these slots to get the height you want. So let's move this off to the side. The clamshell is, again, quite big. It's a lot of empty space, though. You can see just how much empty space is there. We'll lift this up, and we'll take out Starscream himself. He comes in alt mode, like I think every other Seeker that has come in, Seeker figure has come in, or at least Starscream originally comes in alt mode. I'm trying to think if some of the reissues came in robot mode for like Thundercracker or something like that. So here are some accessories that we'll get out one at a time. I should have planned this a little bit better. But you get a bunch of stuff. Let's just, you know what? Let's just do that. That'll make it easier on me, easier on you. And then let's see here. I have a couple of faces in here, which I'll pop out. These are kind of annoying to get to be perfectly honest. But you do get 5 extra faces, including the one that he has. So let me just pop these out real quick. All right. Abigail Ham says, I think the Toys R Us version of the Seekers came in robot mode. Yeah, that's probably accurate. Hey, Deluxe, how's it going, man? All the love. Z-Force, haven't seen you in quite a while. So I think you came last time, but at the very end or something like that. All right, so let's see. Some new people that I don't think I remember. Princeton, I Still Function. It's been a while. And Kato's, my good buddy Kato's. All right, so, and I already said hi to Mike. Hey, Alien Zero. All right, let's go again. So yeah, like the first thing I'll say is he does not come with pink accessories. He comes with purple ones. I don't know. I think I kind of would have preferred the pink, but he has a bunch of them. He has 5, I guess, effects here. We'll look at those. I guess we can look at those in a bit, but let's go start off with his blasters. Hey, Buddha, how's it going? It comes in, I guess, null ray mode. I think that's a null. No, is this a null ray mode? I don't even know. Yeah, but you can swipe them into the missiles. You just flip that up, and then you rotate it around like, oh, the other way. Rotate it around like so. So even the null rays transform into missiles and transform. So let's go like this. You can fold up this handle, which you can use it as a gun later. And then it has a armature here. So let's go ahead and do that first. So the first thing we'll do is come here, rotate this piece out. Depending on how it was packaged, you'll rotate it a number of different ways. Just go ahead and tab this in, and then use that armature here to extend back, and you'll see there's a couple of gaps here, or tab slots here. We're gonna go with this one first. We come to the back, like so. So you have a missile here. Same thing on the other side, we'll fold that up, get this out like so. Peg that in, extend it, and get it tabbed in. All right, so that's him in his alt mode. You do have landing gear. So let's go ahead and do that real quick so we can have them displayed. You just flip this open on the front, pull this down. It has a little rolling wheel, close this up. On the back here, you pull out these pieces which are at the bottom of the feet. Open this up. Then you got to reach in here. Try to pull this out. Ugh. All right, spudger time. It was going to happen sooner or later, so let's just go ahead and start that now. You want to pull it all the way to the front until it like locks into place. Close that up. There we go. All right, what else is there? For the flight stand, you just peg this on. We'll show how that attaches in a bit. He comes with this stuff we'll show in robot mode. Is kind of his claw hand and his drill hand, which I barely remember either of those. And then he comes with this little space rocky thing. Hey, Princeton, how's it going? Making it rain already? I haven't even done anything, but I appreciate it. That's super nice of you. Let's see. He's got his gun, which extends. It's a little Megatron gun. You can store it underneath here with this tab. Right under the body like so. So a little bit different than the old ones where you had that little C-clip that attached here and you clipped it onto here. So we'll just do that for now. And then we'll look at the faces later. All the faces we'll look at in robot mode. So let's go ahead and get him on the flight stand real quick. We need to get rid of this thing because this clear flight stand piece uses these two slots. And it does secure in quite securely, I guess, to be a little bit redundant. And let's just fold in these pieces for now, the landing gear, because it just would look silly to have him flying with his landing gear out. The one thing I also wanted to mention is some people have complained about their all right, now I think I'm back. All right, hopefully some of the comments will tell me whether it's gone or not. But we're going to pretend that we're still going, hopefully. The timer's still on. So yeah, there's a little tab here and a little slot underneath this this rail piece. All right. Hey, Gabeman. Yeah, but if you do that and the secret is you need to push in on this part and that will secure it into place. All right. So just a little tip there. All right. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for acknowledging. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I did get a phone call, but I ignored it. So I don't know why it didn't want to let me keep going on. So I'm very popular, you know. So let's see what else do we got in alt mode that we can show off. He does have a cockpit. The spike, one of the many spikes that we have, I haven't even tried to fit him in, but I think he will fit in. Maybe? No, maybe if you took off his legs, he might fit. Sony TM Reviews did show that the old Archiville can put him in, but he cannot get in with his legs, unfortunately. I do have the old Archiville and then the other pilots, but they're deep within storage, so Unfortunately, I was not going to go through the trouble just to show 5 seconds of that. Other stuff that he has. Let's see here. I know he had some other stuff. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Maybe. Oh, sorry. I was going to show off his radar up front. Obviously, very small detail, just like the old ones. It is nicely painted here. I think it might be die cast, to be perfectly honest. Close that up. Coming to the rear here, you can use these long ones. They just stick into the thrusters in the back, like so. And again, I think I would have preferred the pink ones as opposed to the purple ones, but they still look pretty good. All right, is there anything else I'm missing in this mode? I think I've gotten most of it. Before we start going to other details, I finally was actually prepared for a review and transformed a similar figure. So you're not just looking at streaks. We will still have streak, but they're essentially the same. The old MP-11 mold is slightly longer, I would say. But in terms of detail, they both look really nice. Yeah. Scales is exceptionally well. One of the things I do miss is that they didn't get the detail paint on the vertical stabilizers. I guess it's a small thing. Actually, I don't even know if you guys can. Yeah, so there's no air brake, but I actually thought at one point that you could still use this section as an air brake, but it's not. it's facing the wrong way. It kind of looks like the air brake, but then you can see a little bit of Starscream in there as well. So, show the underside of both. Sure, Alan, how's it going, man? Let me show the underside of both. Come on. See, I shouldn't have done that fake air brake thing. There we go. Let me take this guy out. We'll look at this one a bit later. And then we'll untab this. All right, here's the underside of both. One obviously has the flight stand attachment, but you can see it's very slightly longer, maybe a few centimeters, but nothing too crazy. From the side, you can see it's not as svelte, and it's much more obvious Starscream-ish body than the old mold. I will also say that the later versions of this mold in plain alt mode, I think holds together a bit better than this. There are a lot of tabs and stuff that go into this new 52 mold, but I just don't think it holds quite as well as the old one. Yeah, T-Man actually also pointed out that this little gray piece on the bottom here is actually accurate to the Sunbow model. I was like, oh, it's kind of kibbly, but he actually shared it with me and TM in a chat that this is actually accurate. So, all right. So let's actually go into just transformation right away. We're already 13 minutes in, and I haven't really talked about much else. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get into transformation, as long as I didn't forget anything. If I did forget something in alt mode, let me know, and I'll remember to cover it when we get back. So the first thing you want to do, we're going to actually go into the gear walk mode. That's what the instructions tell you, the official instructions. So we'll go to gear walk mode, and then we'll go to all the way into robot mode. And then, not to the scenes, Evil Ash, it was actually the Sunbow model. Barrel, okay, barrel request. Next time that's going to be $1 donation for a barrel request. So let's see here. The first thing we'll do is, I like to pull this down. I like to pull this up. There's 2 tabs here. And then there's actually tabs that go into the back of the thighs. Just bring that down. You might want to get these hip skirts all the way forward, because you're going to need to do that to balance in gear walk mode anyway. So we're going to go ahead and split the legs. And I like to do this first. I just want to get the legs extended. So what you want to do is basically just bend at the knee, and it will auto kind of transform like so. We're going to open up this side panel, outside leg panel. There's a tab here, and then it tabs into the foot itself. So you want to lift that up, bring this down, and then this will tab into here. So you want to make sure that you secure that by pressing all the way down, tabbing that in. You want to collapse the heel, the thruster. You want to bring this out, and you'll see a new tab come out here. So you want to bring that in, that'll tab in here, and then again, you have to go kind of over under on this back side, and you want to flip this up. And that's really it for the leg. For gear walk mode, we'll do the same thing on this side. Bring it down, and then again, just kind of bend at the knee, and it'll auto transform. Bring this up, like so. Bring this down, tab that in, collapse the thruster, bring this down, tab it in those two sections. And you need to get, because at least on mine, my ankles forward and back are super weak. You can't really balance him any other way. You need to have his legs basically all the way forward at the hips. All right, the other thing we need to do is kind of lift this up out of the way. We'll untab these and get them out of the way for now. You're going to bring this around, fold this back like so. And then this tab will tab in here. So you want to rotate this down, and and then you want to collapse this telescoping joint. So you want to bring this down. When this comes down, this will tab in right here. Like so. And so you'll have a dual layered wing. And then you can go ahead and use that same tabbing system to get onto the outside of this blue wing, like so. All right, same thing on this side. Undo this. We're going to wrap this around 180 degrees, rotate this down. Sony TM Reviews and T-Man both have small hairline fractures or cracks here, so just be careful. Luckily, mine hasn't developed them yet. I've only transformed them maybe 3 times, so maybe that's why. But I don't think they transformed them much either, so it might be another hound issue where some joints are a little fragile. So just be careful with yours. And this is gear walk mode. Nothing really exciting about it. I think they do it in some episodes, but and you want to make sure that all this stuff is still tabbed in. But it's all kind of, like I said, the alt mode doesn't hold together as nicely as I would like. But this is it. This is gear walk mode. You can kick out like this. But yeah. All right, we're just going to keep going to robot mode because I don't know how many people would actually even display it in this mode. So let's go ahead and untab these again. Let's finish off the leg transformation. The leg transformation is slightly different. For robot mode, you don't have all these hanging out. So we'll go ahead and open the leg up. You want to rotate it like so. And then this panel here will flip 180 degrees. You need that to have this angle just so you can flip it around and get that clearance. The wing tips, or these stabilizer tips, also telescope. You want to rotate it 180 degrees, and then you want to fold this down like so. Close this up. And the last thing we'll do is scooch up the knee pads. The knee pads will go up. They're on the sliding joint. Same thing on this side. Open this up. Get this rotated like so. Flip it around. Telescope this joint out. Like so. Sorry I'm missing a lot of the comments. Obviously, if you haven't been with us before, I usually don't talk and read comments during the transformation since I'm focusing on that. And I want to keep that pretty clean. So there we go. All right, next up, I want to deal with the wings here, but I think these kind of get in the way. So one of the things that I found is that these shoulders, because when you bring this up, they kind of interfere with the shoulders here. So I like getting the arms out. You can see there's a little tab here. It's hard to see. It's not a very tight tab, but you want to kind of just bring the shoulders up and then bring them forward on this kind of butterfly joint. So again, just bring these arms out. And again, it was like this, up, and then forward like so in the butterfly. And now that will give you a little bit of room to flip these up. And I want to just transform these wings right away. They kind of just flop around in the instructions. They tell you to do this all kind of last. I just want to get them cleaned up so they're not just all like this the whole time. So let's just clean these up. Flip these small pieces in. This piece here was like this. It will come up a little bit later. So we're going to flip this up. We're going to untab this. Get it back around. You do need to telescope it here. Rotating this. You want to telescope this back up. like so. We're going to open the wing panel. So this is one of the interesting pieces. There are some details underneath here. I don't know if these are supposed to be like those anti-heat seeker missiles or something like that, but there are a lot of cool paint details and panels in here. So we're going to fold these in. Oh, I guess I didn't show the rudders or whatever these are called, the wingtips, in alt mode. But that's something, I guess. You're going to rotate these all the way around like this. And then you're going to close this back up. This will tab into this larger slot here. And that's it. I don't remember, but I don't think you're supposed to, maybe you are supposed to collapse this. I don't remember if you're supposed to collapse this or not. Maybe you are. Yeah. Well, we'll just pretend that I know what I'm talking about, and we'll just collapse it. And then you want to rotate at this hinge here. Like so. And lastly, bring this up and around like that. So this was in like this. We're going to bring it up and around like so. And then this, very similarly to what we've done before, this all kind of tabs in together. So we'll just leave that for a little while. This one, again, we'll bring the wing up. Bring this around. Open up the dual layer. That's another thing that I don't particularly like about it, is when, at least on mine, mine doesn't stay closed, especially at the tip area. There's always kind of a gap. Even if I tab all these other sections, it always seems to kind of hang open here, which is kind of a bummer. It might be also that I've been pulling it on that side to get access to it, so it might be my fault. And it's not a huge deal unless you're really looking for it. So close this up, bring this around, tab this in here. And then again, you're rotating at this hinge this time. Bring this all the way up and around. So now we're done with the backpack. Let's get to the center here. We're going to pull this tab out that we showed before, the faux air brake. And this is on a double hinge along his butt. So you want to scooch that back and down like that and kind of fold this up. And we're going to tab this into another section later. All right. Let's just keep going with the mid-body. We're going to pull his head, and his head's on kind of a weird joint here. Just pull it forward. His ears or whatever pop out. You just need to do that so you can bring out these fillers here, these side fillers. And when you open these up, you want to open them up a second time. Obviously, you can see how this will run into stuff. You will need to get the body as straight as possible. And even then, there's still a bit of interference, so just be careful when you open that up. All right, so once you get that cleared, you do want to bring his head back to the original position, which is squeezing his ears and tucking that in between those gray pieces. All right, now we're going to come up to the front, start dealing with some of the stuff up here. So this is kind of where the cool transformation happens. It's very different than what we had before. So what we're going to do is separate this whole section here. We're going to tuck in the seat. It's going to pull forward. We're going to bend. After that, you need to have it tucked in before you bend. And then fold these sections down 90 degrees. This big gray arm here, you want to get 90 degrees. And then from here, you can collapse that in. So you want to collapse it in until it has a definitive click. It should lock into place. Oh, sorry, I messed up. Sorry. Before I do that, I need to flip this down first. I need to flip I have to turn the nose cone 90 degrees clockwise and then fold this around like that. Sorry, before I collapse that. But yeah, once you see, did you hear the click? That definitive click, make sure that everything's locked into place. All right. While we're here, let's go ahead and rotate this gray piece. It's going to kind of sit behind here like so. And then we're going to rotate this entire section through. The head's going to pop through like so. Let's get these forward just so you can see a little bit better. Get this butt flap out of the way. And you need to tuck this piece in and close the gap that's formed right there. So you want to fold that up, bring this down, and that tab that I was talking about goes right into this fuselage, like so. You get a nice flat section there. His ears pop out again. And now we're basically done. So we're going to fold up the wings that we talked about before. There's 2 layers, one here with the red tab, and then one with the gray tab. Same thing on this side. Just fold this down. Tab that into place. I wish this thing locked into place, mostly because this is, again, where you're going to use the flight stand to attach. And I would prefer to have had it locked in somewhere when using that, but it's still pretty secure, but I just would have preferred that. All right, now coming to the arms. I'm going to bring the arms. It's a very interesting mechanism that they have here. So this kind of weird design that they have on the arm. You want to bring this around, and you basically want to form the bicep like so, with those 2 halves, and then you want to close it up. Once you have that done, flip open the bottom of the forearm, open this up, get the fist out and rotate that 180 degrees, close up the forearm. Now we're just going to close up that butterfly joint, and then we can transform this back into the null worry. So flipping this up, rotating this around like so, and then rotate down on those double hinges. Same thing on this side. We're just going to close this up. We can transform the null ray now since we just did. All right, remember to form the 2 halves of the bicep here. And then close it up. It kind of locks into place, not as tightly as I would like, but it's okay. Close that up. Oops. Open up the forearm and get the fist out. And we're basically done. The last part is the intakes here. So this part is a little bit harder to see or understand from the instructions, but on this double hinge, there's a couple places where this locks. So on the front side, you have this gap between here. When you rotate this back, that needs to fit around this hinge section, this pin section here. Mine was very tough to get in the first couple times, and even now it's still a little tight. And then back here, you'll see this tab and this slot here. They don't really align all that well. I don't know if there's something that maybe I'm doing wrong that doesn't transform this as cleanly as it's supposed to. But you kind of have to force it down and tap it in. And again, the secret is to go ahead and push on this piece here. Okay? So we'll do that again. Rotate this back. I like looking at the front first and locking this section in first, and then putting my finger in back here to lock that in place. And then you can angle these intakes forward. But you can see they're kind of, I don't know, bowed out. I think they're supposed to look a little bit tighter, but I don't see how I could make this sit tighter. I just don't. Oh, that's how you do it. So you don't telescope these wing pieces. That's the secret. Oh, so I messed up there. So don't telescope these wing tips, those blue wing tips closed. You want to keep them telescoped so that they're out. There we go. Thanks, Chris. I just saw your comment. That's like the first comment I saw from this transformation, but thanks. I appreciate that. All right, there we go. And there we go. We have him in his robot mode. I don't think I missed anything, but hopefully I covered everything in the instructions pretty well. His robot mode does look really fantastic. I think he looks quite accurate. He is very gray, so let me bring out my other MP-11, and we can do a comparison real quick. Where'd he go? Oh, right next to me. So here's my old MP-11 mold. You can see just how different they look. Here, let me scoot down a little bit and get a kind of a straight angle here. So yeah, this comparison, I think it's very clear that this one looks way more accurate. It has a lot less surface details. And again, if you're going for the ultra cartoon animation look, this one obviously is going to be a way better choice. Way less kibble. The backpack is arguably bigger. I mean, some places it's thicker, obviously with the wings themselves. But this one also has a big, chunk on the back as well. So I don't think either of them is particularly, they're gonna have a hard time getting into school with a backpack this big. Let's just say that. And he doesn't have all the kibble down here. When we first saw the images or mold of the wings, that was always kind of like curious what was going on here. Now it makes sense. But yeah. All right, so let's talk about robot mode. One of the things that I'll talk about first is that I think the knee ratchets are way too weak. I think Sony TM also said that you can disassemble the leg and tighten it up. Oops, I forgot to scooch this one up. Sorry. But I'm not going to go through the trouble of that. That's a little bit too much work for me. For something that, I mean, it's fine. It's just not as secure as I would like. Like if I were to jiggle it like that, he's going to fall back. But he does have a pretty secure stance. Let's go through looking at his articulation while we're here. So his head is on that weird hinge, which is separate. But that hinge itself is on a ball joint. So this section here is on a ball joint. So you do get a little bit of the ball joint action. And then he has this weird hinge here. So when he flies, you can actually look up. All right. Shoulder-wise, he does have soft ratchets in his shoulders, going forward and back, and to the side. You can hear it, nice and springy. He does have a deep single-jointed elbow and a bicep swivel. He can do the pec deck. We already talked about the articulation on his null ray, so we won't go into that too much. It's on a peg as well. His hands are pretty nice. His wrists, while they can rotate, they can also open back or angle back. His thumb has 2 pin joints. I wish it was a ball joint at the base, because it always kind of looks awkward when splayed. And each of his fingers are individually articulated, so that they have 2 pins, one at the base of the hand and one at the fingertips. So that's more articulation than we traditionally got with the Masterpiece line, so I'm happy with that. All right, where else are we? Oh, so he does have a ab crunch, which is nice. He doesn't have a waist swivel, but he does have an ab crunch, which actually still works with this butt plug pegged in. And this actually helps secure it. It gives it a little bit more friction. If you actually unplug it, the ab crunch is a little loose. He does have a little bit of hollowness going on there, but I think it's okay. Hip skirts can go up and to the side. One downside about mine is that while he does have ratchets going forward and gets a good amount of kick, he also is supposed to have ratchets going outwards. And on my left leg, even out of the box, literally first transformation, my ratchets are like basically non-existent. In comparison to this side, which I'll show you, there's a very definitive click, click, click. This one, not so much. So that I might look into. It shouldn't be too much to look into, but I feel like there's just worn gears or something like that. So pretty disappointing about that. The other things I don't like are that he has the seams on the front of his legs and on his toes here. So that's kind of ugly. But you may have noticed that while he is gray, he doesn't have any swirls because he's almost all painted, which is great. I actually complained about that at one of my last live streams. I said, if you're going to have a gray figure, predominantly gray figure, you're going to need to paint it. So Takara Tomy must have heard me because, you know, that's the only reason why they would actually do something logical like that. All right, going through the rest of the articulation, he does have a thigh swivel. Not a ton of thigh swivel, but enough. He does have that knee bend. All right. And it is ratcheted. And then coming to the feet, he does have his entire foot is on the same armature, so it does tilt in unison, but his heel can move slightly separately. Some people have talked about using this cover as additional heel support. I don't think you really need it, but if you wanted to, I guess you could. And then he has forward and back on that. He also has this little piece here, which I don't know what it's for. The old mold, MP-11 mold, had something similar where you could see into the engines of the thrusters, but he doesn't have anything like that, so I'm not really sure what this is for at all. So maybe it's something necessary for some of the future uses of this mold, like maybe a cone head will need something like that. So I think that's it for articulation. I think it covered it all. So let me take a quick break. I missed every single comment for the last 30 minutes, probably. Is his butt hollow? I didn't know what to think about that. Hey, Memo, I didn't see you come in. Hey, Trevor Wright, I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome to the live stream. My Optimus Prime had the same problem. They forgot the ratchet in the left leg. Did they forget the ratchet, or did your ratchet get damaged out of the box like 99% of people who didn't know that you weren't supposed to use it a certain way? Oh, TM says he might do a knee fix video. That'll be great. Hey, G Tony. All right. Rodimus Subprime. I don't remember seeing you either. Welcome. All right. So luckily, I don't think it doesn't seem like I missed too many comments, or I missed them so much that I can't scroll back enough. All right. Pig for life. Missed question. How tall is he? Let me get a tape measure. It was on the box, but I just don't remember exactly what that was on the box. To the top of head, he's about 8 1/4. Yeah, 8 1/4, somewhere in that range. And to the top of the intakes, he's about 9 inches. So I think the gray is a little dark too. I don't mind it too much though. So I don't have a huge problem with the color. It's something different. Like compared to, where did that Starscream go? Compared to this one, it is definitely a lot lighter. This one's a lot lighter, obviously. But I don't mind it. It's definitely not as dark as the original MP3, which was like kind of a grayish blue color. How many cracks does your copy have? So I've been looking. I don't know exactly where all the potential cracks are. I did talk about the ones that you and T-Man had. TM had at this joint. Mine luckily does not have them, and I warned folks about that just be careful. Is it possible to do some size comparisons next to your Combaticons? My Combaticons would be tough to do, mostly because they're in combined mode. But I might have a second copy somewhere. But we'll do some comparisons though. So let's do some comparisons with some figures that really make sense. So let's go ahead with MP Prime version 3, I guess, technically. All right, who else do I have? We already did it with MP-11. I should have brought maybe a carbide out or something like that, but I really didn't feel like it. The only other figure that's in arm's reach that is a robot mode is the Eris Coulter from Ocular Max. And she's pretty big. She's almost as tall as Starscream here. Oh, another figure that I just got in today from Toy Dojo is the movie masterpiece Bumblebee Optimus Prime. I'll have to eventually potentially do a review on him. The other thing I got today was also the Kingdom War for Cybertron Arc, Autobot Arc. So I gotta do a review on that at some point. Maybe tomorrow or the day after. Let me grab these real quick. I had to move these guys out of the way just to get my Starscream MP-11, so just because they're off the shelf. Do I have any of the... I don't think I have any of the MMC folks easily accessible, unfortunately, so I won't be able to do that request. But yeah. What about Megatron? Megatron's the same height as him. You get the idea. Hold on. Alright, just because he also was very close to Starscream, so he was pretty easy to get just now. So, no more comparisons. That's it. No more comparisons. Yeah, the Toy Dojo did get the arc earlier this week. It was the early. I think he got like an early air shipment, so it was a much more expensive shipment. All right, so they asked for the booby missiles, so I will show you some of the playability that he has in robot mode after I get all these guys out of the way that you guys made me get all these figures. Come on, man. All right, so he does have his same booby missiles as somebody called it. The original MP-11 mold did have that as well. They're purple as opposed to white. I don't know which one is more accurate. Looking, oh, that might have broken that, but okay. Looking at his weaponry, this gun I don't particularly enjoy. I do have the other one, the one that we've gotten with a bunch of different old school Masterpiece figures. You can see just how different they are in terms of size. If I can hold on to it. So this is like 50% bigger. But they both feature the same kind of mechanism, the expanding mechanism. This one doesn't have as much functionality where you can take off the different pieces, but the biggest downside about this one is that at least on my copy, and basically everyone who I know who has a copy, T-Man and TM, this guy doesn't hold the gun particularly well, so you do have to expand it a bit, and to use this as a slot, the left hand apparently does a better job of holding it on all of our copies. But even then, it's not great. It's okay, I guess. So you can get the fingers to help you grip it and get this thumb behind this other tab. And he holds it okay if you lock this in. But on my right hand, it just doesn't work at all. Like it's like he's not even trying. All right, let's see. It's like it's actively not wanting to. Oh, I might have managed it. Well. Oh, it's kind of working. Okay, so just be okay. Just be left-handed. Starscream just needs to be left-handed, and you'll get away with it. All right, now that we've had this done, let's use some of the accessories here so we can finally look at the purple blast effects. You can use these on this. They're all interchangeable. Here and here. This one is cool. I kind of like this one. But you can also use on the null rays if you want. But you get the idea. I'm not going to go through all of those. You can still, even with these collapsed, still use the effects on the bottom so you can be flying. It's kind of cool. All right, some of the other things you can play with. He has that little drill thingy. What you need to do is transform his hand back. Plug that in. And then you can use this tab here and get the drill. You can get the drill on. Come on. I haven't tried it on the left hand before. This one's actually really tough to get on. There we go. Well, at least that's secure. So if you have any need for this drill-looking hand, you'll know it's secure. Same thing with his claw hand. Get on. You can tell that I'd never use these accessories, even before this review. And then this can open up. It has one little joint here. I kind of put it on backwards, to be honest. And then you use it to grip his whatever scrap this is. All right, you get the idea. That's good. Let's look at the faces real quick. All right, so his standard face, sorry, the lighting is not particularly good, is just kind of pretty stoic, straight-faced, Let's see which ones we have here. We got the extremely happy face. We got the smiling face. I like this one. We got the O face. We have the weird one eye kind of closed, winky, smirky face. I don't like that one. And then you got the no, Megatron. I promise I won't betray you again for the 1 millionth time. So we'll go ahead and just put this one on. You just flip the head up. You don't even need a spudger. These aren't held together awfully tight. So you just have one tab that goes there on the face, on the back of the face. And it goes on like so. And he's happy. No, I don't. I like the smirk face. I don't like the weird winky smirk face, like where one eye is smaller than the other. I don't understand that one. Like it looks like he has an eye twitch. Like I don't like that. All right. So I think we've covered all of that. I promised I would get done at 9 o'clock, both for Figure Action Podcast and with my wife, so we can watch some Korean drama. So I'm gonna have to hurry this up and get back into alt mode. All right, leave the voices T-Man. Yeah, he is quite the voice actor. So let's go ahead and just get stuff ready. We'll get his hands tucked away. You just need to curl them up into a ball. Rotate it around. Here, let me scooch this up a bit. Rotate these in. You do want to make sure that they're scrunched up quite well. This also seems to be a hit or miss on whether this actually closes or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to mess with the arms first and just get all this kind of situated. So you want to bend the elbow to give you enough clearance to bring this around and unlock this. And you're going to have to bend the elbow, something like this. I forget exactly if it's this way or this way, but you want to bend the elbow. But by and large, this is just going to flop around for the most part. So undo this, bend this around, rotate this. Oh, and since we're here, let's go ahead and transform the null rays again. It's going to be like a third or fourth time now. Transform that. And obviously, depending on which you prefer, you can have the null rays or you can have the missiles or whatever. In either mode, it doesn't matter. I didn't show it, but you know, the null ray, I did talk about it before. You can use the handle for the gun. That's how it comes shown. I guess no, forget it. You guys understand how guns and pegs work, so we're not even going to bother with that. You guys get the idea. All right. So let's keep going with the transformation. I'm going to go ahead and come and undo this section here. These air intakes. Bring them back. And once again, remember, you want to push back on the inside piece here. One of the things I don't often talk about, just because I forget, is is die cast. This guy does have a decent amount of die cast. He has die cast here on the most of the chest is die cast on the front sections, and then part of his crotch is die cast, and then there might be another piece here or there that's die cast, but a decent amount of die cast on this guy. I usually weigh him, don't I? Oh well, we're just going all out of order, doing all sorts of weird things now. He's going to be partially transformed and weighed. Oh, let's zero it out. He is going to be 12 ounces. So with what he has on, partially transformed, he's 12 ounces. So not even a pound, but he still feels pretty significant, pretty sturdy. All right, so where was I? Let's bring his arms out, the butterfly joint. I didn't even talk about the butterfly joint. I'm just a mess here. The butterfly joint, that is for transformation, but obviously you can use that for articulation as well. All right. Let's go ahead and deal with everything on the back here. We want to untab the wings. Like so. Just get them out of the way. Untab the butt plate. And now we're going to transform the body here. So we want to pull this out, but again, we have to squeeze the ears when we rotate this around. So come on. Squeeze the ears. Get it tucked through the faux canopy and get it rotated around. When we're here, we can just rotate this 180 degrees, extend this section, close up the nose cone, rotate it counterclockwise. This part does feel really tight the first time you do it, so just be careful. Extend it on this gray telescoping piece all the way, and then tab it in. There's a couple tabs on either side, and here, you want to tab that in like so. All right, and again, I kind of like dealing with the wings first because, again, the arms kind of get in the way, so I want to deal with the wings before they kind of block some of the parts, especially this little tip piece here. So let's go ahead and just kind of rotate. Let's start with this one. So let's just untab here, get this up and around. Now we can rotate this around. This section here, fold out the tips, tab these in. There's a tab down here, and then I thought there was, yeah, another tab here. I wish there was one in this section at the tip that again, because mine in particular doesn't like to stay closed near the wingtip. All right, with that, we want to open it up at this hinge and then rotate it around at this hinge, bring this around, and you can see the main section of the wing is done. We'll do that again. So rotate at this hinge, bring this all the way around. Oops, I forgot to untab this. It's okay, this piece comes off easily. Get this straightened out. Close this up. Bring this around 180 degrees. Fold this down like so. All right, so now we have the wings basically all done. Now we're going to deal with the center of the body. So the first thing we'll do is get these sections in. Once again, you want to make sure that the lower body is straight before you fold these in. Fold it once and then fold it flat. Same thing on the other side. Come on. Fold it in, fold it flat. Bring the head back on those double hinge, again, squeezing the ears in so it sits in like so. Now I want to bring these down. And so the arms, the way they work, once again, is that we're going to have to bring them up like this. And then, wait. This piece has to be facing up, facing down. So how was I doing this? This tab, okay, there we go. So you want to fold it like this so that the screws are like this, arms out to the side, and then you want to rotate this entire shoulder joint inwards so that this tab is hanging out on the outside. This blue piece has the tab that we see right here, this small, it's not even like a tab, it's just like a little nub. So we'll do the same thing on this side. We want to first rotate this up, get these screws facing down, and then rotate in like so. So the arms are going to come like into the main section of the jet, right above the head. Get this butt plate up, and remember this butt plate is on a double hinge, so you want to scooch that forward. And we're going to mess with all this and clean it up later, but essentially you just want to make sure that this tab comes into the front here. And then everything else we can clean up later. All right, with these sections like so, you can kind of tab these in. This will ultimately go underneath this piece like so. But again, there's a lot of cleanup that we have to do, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. The other thing that you want to make note of is that there is a tab right here that goes into the other side of the forearm. So there's a lot of tabs that do lock into place. They don't really tell you about a lot of that, but you just want to make sure if you want to get a solid jet mode that you make use of those various tabs. All right, we're going to just go ahead and work with the leg. We can clean this up too. These little ridges here, there are corresponding ridges on the inside of the chest, but they're not, again, tabs. You can just push it in and maneuver them around and they kind of hold in place, but it's not like a really secure tab, I would say. It's just kind of a reside here if you're so inclined. All right, let's deal with the legs and finish up this review. So first thing we'll do is go ahead and rotate, slide down the kneecaps on both of these. Open up the legs. Rotate this around and collapse the telescoping joint on the wingtip. Flip around this section like so. We want to tuck in the shin, blue shin piece. Untab the toe from this gray piece, rock it up, and then tab here and tab back here. Lock all that in place. While we're back here, extend the thruster, and then we can go ahead and collapse the knee or the leg into the knee. So again, what you want to do is basically bend the knee and then just kind of push in like so. This will rock around. And there we go. There is a tab on the back of the leg, back of the thigh that will come up in here. We'll worry about that later. But let's go ahead and do the other leg as well. So bringing this down, we'll untab this section. Flip this around. Get it all the way around like so. We're not going to stop into gear walk mode, obviously. Get this flipped in. Untab the toe. Tuck that in. Extend the thruster. Close this piece up. Like that. Dealing with the knee. We're going to bend it like so. And then just push. That'll come all the way in. Like so. You can choose to when you want to tab the two halves together. I generally like working with them together, mainly because it's a little bit easier to get these two tabs on the back of the thighs and working when they're working in conjunction. But it's really up to you. This section back here, again, is a lot of cleanup and just a lot of fiddling. So you probably want to deal with that part last. So let's go ahead and get this underneath, get this underneath. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is make sure that this angle on the forearm is correct so I can get this tab in. But for some reason, I'm doing something wrong to the point where the tab is not wanting to go into the forearm. So I'm trying to mess with that right now. Come on. I can get it to work. I'm trying to feel for it, but it's not really working. All right, we're just going to keep going because I need to finish up in about 2 minutes. And I don't want to eat into figure action podcast time because I do want to join that as well. So basically, you just need to do a lot of cleanup here. Feel for this thigh tab. You can just wiggle the leg to feel for that tab that is right here. All right, tab this in back here. Bring this up, same thing on this side, tab in the back. What's going on? All right. All right, there we go, finally. Straighten out the wings, rotate these pieces around so that they're correctly oriented. And then you can tab them into the wings again. like so. All right, there's probably more cleanup I can do, but you get the idea. In general, you just need to make sure that the tabs here and on the forearms are correctly oriented, and then everything else will clean up a little bit better. But like I said, it doesn't hold together quite as nicely as the old one, or at least I find it a little bit more difficult to do so. It still looks very nice, but it has some more complications. All right. So I know I missed a lot of comments. We're over the 1 hour mark. TM Review says, missed questions. Do you have MP-44 head to compare? I do, but I don't have it with me right now. Do you like him again? How do I like him against Make Toys Meteor? I sold my Meteor a while ago when it was like peak market. I remember really loving Meteor when it came out. I thought it did have a lot of really good positives to it, but I would really need to either go back and watch my old review or get my hands on another one to really do a fair comparison. I don't want to make a judgment on things that I reviewed like a couple years ago. So what else? Thanks again, TM, for being such a good mod. 3, what K-dramas are you watching? Right now, I'm watching Hospital Playlist Season 2. I've watched a lot of the older ones that are already finished. Like, It's Okay Not to Be Okay is probably the favorite K-drama I've watched in the last 10 years. So I highly recommend that one. Crash Landing on You is also very popular. So that's probably my second favorite in recent times. I do need to watch True Beauty. I watched the Korean webtoon of that. I read the webtoon of that. So I do want to watch that. I heard the story is significantly different than the webtoon, so I want to catch up on that. Out of 4, rating out of 10, I would say rating out of 10, I would probably give this guy maybe a solid 7 or maybe an 8. There are a lot of things I like, but the things I like most about him are definitely in robot mode. His jet mode is fine, but I think jet mode in general is always fine with these figures. They do a pretty good job about it. The things I don't like are some of the tolerances that I talked about with the knees, the issues that some people are having with cracks, as well as mine coming out of the box with no ratchets. But he does come with a lot of fun stuff. I do like the blast effects. I think these are one of the effects that, one of the accessories that I'll tend to use a lot. What I don't like are effects like these that I don't know anybody who would use this in their display on the regular. The Megatron gun's pretty good. You can store that on the backpack too in the same way. I didn't talk about that, but this is his back, so it stores the same way. So those are the things I like. I didn't even remember to show how this worked in robot mode, but it tabs in the same way. So my apologies. Go watch T-Man's or TM's for a more thorough review that will probably not mess up as much. And the transformation is really unique. It is pretty ingenious. There are a lot of good qualities about it, and even after transforming it just one time, I was like, okay, I can review this. It's easy enough to transform. Doing it live is a little bit harder. Obviously, you have to try to get all these tabs in and aligned live, but doing it just for fun on your own, I think you'll really enjoy it. There's a lot of fun playability with this guy. So I'll give it a 7, solid 7, maybe even an 8. Let's see. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Mike Lorber. How's it going? Chris Gold, Soundwave 2.0 would be great. I still like my MP-13, but it looks incongruous next to my newer stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Clinical. That's a lot of nonsense on the other side. Yeah, we talked about it before. This part actually looks accurate to the Sunbow animation. Let's see. Jason Lee says, I'll send you mine for free. Keep it. I don't even know what you're talking about there, but I'm always about free stuff. You might not even be talking to me. Let's see. Cobra Clan, good to see you. Oh, you were probably talking about giving free stuff to TM, Jason Lee, because, you always send stuff for free. Mike, thanks for joining as usual. Rod is subprime. We should do a Sweet 16 tournament for our favorite MP reviewers. Ooh, I don't know if I would even make a Sweet 16. I'd probably be in round of 64 or something like that. Oh, Howling Meter? Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm sure TM would appreciate that. He does a lot of really nice comparisons, and I know he hasn't. All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I do want to end now. I'm already 5 minutes into the Figure Action podcast time. So if you guys don't know about Figure Action podcast, definitely check out their Thursday night streams. They do it every Thursday. They talk about not just Transformers, but all sorts of collectibles. So definitely head over there now. Thanks everyone for watching the review. Thanks everyone everyone who donated. Let's see. I always appreciate that. And if you guys need to pick this guy up, he is available from Toy Dojo. And I'll be back in the next couple days, if not tomorrow, to do some more reviews. Like I said, I got to do that NPM movie Bumblebee Prime. I also have to do the Arc, which I'll probably do tomorrow if I find the time. Some other stuff I owe you guys, I will get to. Maybe, never. We'll see. I mean, my HasLab Unicron still hasn't been fully opened or reviewed, so my commitments are always up and down. In any case, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys liked it, if you guys are catching it on a rewind, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or anything I missed, I'll try to answer them in the comment section. I know I missed a lot of stuff trying to get this done in an hour. Sing Danger Zone. I've already sung that in the short, so I'll ride into the Danger Zone with you another time. I still function. All right, thanks a lot, everyone. Hope you have a good one.